Hi there, YouTube. It is I, the one, the only Naudia Exotica. So a little bit of a change in my upload repertoire, but very necessary change because, and it's not permanent. It's not something that I'm only going to be doing exclusively. I just figured why not throw up some book reviews on my YouTube channel. Tonight, whatever, this evening, we're going to be discussing the Spellshop by Beth Durst. Immaculate, first of all. But I want to make it very well known that I'm not giving anything away. I don't want to give away any spoilers, but I will be talking about kind of the outline of the story. In vague terms, like I don't want to be too specific. This is something you really have to pick up and read yourself. I want to also begin by saying that I am very selective with what I read. I really enjoy reading on things that I like, of course, right? Like, I remember doing so poorly in school because nothing seemed to grab my attention at all. But when literature discusses things, topics, storylines that I enjoy, I am serious, like I will nurture the hell out of it. So, yeah, I mean, I have my few select number of books that I really enjoy, and one of them being tattooed on me. I love it so much. I will never shut up about that book, but I just kind of recently got back into reading as like a leisure time, like doing it in my free time. So this was a very unexpected purchase. I was at Target. They should have this at Target, in a Target near you. And I noticed that they had a buy two get one, I think, going on with the books. I feel like it was buy two get one, or maybe it was it was buy two get one, because I remember buying my friend a book, or getting my friend a book with this deal. And this and another one, I actually didn't realize until I was talking about it with Banana P that she pointed it out first, and then it was like a no-brainer. I'm like, I need this. I really need this. And the other one, I was just drawn by the imagery of the cover. That will be my next book review. But this, I mean, I'm a sucker for cottagecore in general. I remember it was probably around 2017, 2018 when I actually discovered the aesthetic of cottagecore. It was Troll Tears, I believe her name was, or Troll Tale on Instagram. I don't know if she's still on Instagram. I know back in the day it was kind of, she was on and off. But the whole entirety of the cottagecore aesthetic really drives me in. I'm like, I am fixated on this. This is beautiful and wonderful. And then on top of that, like, you know, throw in some mystical creatures. I'm all for it. And this was it was like a surprise to me, because when you see the cover, you're automatically assuming it's just going to be some kitschy little book, you know what I mean? Probably nothing super intense emotionally, but you'd be wrong with this one. This one inspires a lot of emotions in terms of grief, which is obviously very near and dear to me. Losing my mom, it was tragic, so I could really relate with the main character in terms of grief and grieving. It talks of needing to act on intuition in terms of getting yourself out of a scary predicament. There's a little bit of traveling in here. And kind of going back to a very nostalgic place in terms of your comfort zone, but also relearning your comfort zone. You know what I mean? Like initially you may have felt like you've kind of grown from it, or kind of evolved from your comfort zone, or where you hold sacred. And then kind of going back to it and really rediscovering why, you know, the root to why you hold such a thing so near and dear, and why it's so sentimental to you. And then it talks of love, like a dynamic in which I always say this is like soulmate love, but not really necessarily eternal soulmate love. But imagine, for example, like in Memoirs of a Geisha, where these two people meet, they go their separate ways, you know what I mean? And then they come back, and there's such, again, nostalgia. There's such a nostalgic kind of energy between the two because they had encountered each other at such an early time in their lives, and then, you know, reconnect and reunite. That's just so beautiful. And the main character having kind of a struggle when it comes to accepting love, also navigating men and relationships, which I enjoy, of course, as well. That theme is somewhat near and dear to me as well. Then it talks about unity amongst friends, which is a wonderful theme, kind of knowing who has your back, you know, and who's willing to kind of go up to battle for you, which is, I swear, I mean, it's just hitting every single point that really, really makes my heart sing and resonates with me entirely. And then you also, if you really kind of think about it, the hustle of it all, there's like a moment in time where the main character needs to kind of hustle and figure out a livelihood, you know, what's going to be sustainable and help them provide, which is wonderful. So you cannot lose with this book. It's really about like trust and where other people place you in terms of emotional ranking, in a sense, you know what I mean? Or what they'd be willing to do for you and vice versa. It's just so immaculate. It was the exact read I needed, but I didn't know I needed. So if you like mystical creatures in terms of mermaids, in terms of made up characters, made up archetypes, a sentient plant, mind you, like, are you kidding me? Absolutely. I would love a talking plant. If my plants just kind of became alive overnight, I probably wouldn't be upset about it. I'd be pretty happy about it. Not mad at that at all. Then you also, in terms of cottagecore, have that, like a lot of the times when you see cottagecore, it's like baking, it's hearth and home, kind of being in your little private nook or sacred space, you know, and so you have that as well, like the cooking aspect, the baking, the hearth and home. Which is just, it makes you feel so warm inside. This book genuinely is like a cup of hot cocoa in the winter, or it's apple spiced cinnamon tea in the fall. It's a walk through crisp fall leaves. Genuinely, this is like kickstarting fall for me. This is a wonderful kind of tactic to kind of escape and just throw yourself in someone else's storyline and someone else's kind of viewpoint. This is like the best kind of fantasy realm that you could possibly ever indulge in. It feels very special, and I cannot wait to read this again. Honestly, I'm the type of person that when I discover a new song, a new story, a new movie, whatever, I have to go through it again. Like, what if I missed something? What if there's something here I didn't pick up on? And I can tell I'm going to be doing that with this book. It made me cry in some points. There were points where I was like unexpectedly shedding tears because it's just really endearing when a story talks of people in your corner who are willing to defend you at all costs, right? Like they have your back, and they're willing to do anything and everything to kind of just do what's right, you know, morally and ethically. So on the front cover, it says, "The Spellshop sweeps readers into a world of mer horses, illegal spells, and first loves. It's as comforting as a homemade jam on a fresh baked muffin." The Spellshop. It takes a village to open a heart and just one man to steal it. And on the back, "This was a good place with kind people who cared about each other. There was a unicorn in the woods, mermaids in the coves, and the best raspberries she'd ever tasted, and there was Lauren." Praise for the Spellshop and Sarah Beth Durst. I followed Sarah Beth Durst on Instagram because it's just really, oh my goodness. A quote from New York Times bestselling author of The Bear and the Nightingale, Catherine Arden, says, "Reading this book was like sitting in the sun, watching bees and the foxgloves, a warm, peaceful delight of a novel. You can almost smell the jam and hear the ocean. I finished the book smiling." That's the other thing too. It's like it takes place on this beautiful beach landscape, which I obviously love. Like every single thing in this book was just really working for me. This quote says, "The Spellshop is brimming with cozy charm, endearing characters, and reminders that sometimes the biggest risks lead to the sweetest rewards." Heather Weber, USA Today bestselling author of Midnight at the Blackbird Cafe. And then lastly, it says, "The Spellshop is about believing in the kindness of people, even when you're seeing nothing but cruelty. There is beauty in Keela's building of a new and brighter world. There is courage in the love of this found family." By J.R. Dawson, author of The First Bright Thing. Oh, and then Book Riot also says, "Sarah Beth Durst is a hidden gem of the fantasy world." And I couldn't agree more. Lastly, what I want to say, I will leave you with this. This not only talks about camaraderie, but it's about like obviously building a family of your very own. I know some people out there have had to do that. There's been instances where I've done that. And again, it's like it just really resonates with people who are about hustling and making something new, making something magic out of something quite tragic. And that's what I feel like the running theme of this book is. So it was everything I needed and more. So thank you, Sarah Beth Durst. I'm keeping this in my collection, and I'm enthralled with this book. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, something new, something different, and there's more to come, so be on the lookout for that. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or video requests, feel free to email me. My email is naudiaexotica@gmail.com. Follow all my links at naudiaexotica.com, and also don't forget to read my blog, which is naudiascuriotrove.com. And until the next video, you guys, you will be hearing from me very, very soon.